you have individuals nowadays who are interested in the sport, and specifically within the bikini division, the wellness division, they see that. And I guess the question I have, and I'll just throw this out, open-ended, um, the the assumption is looking at these athletes, seeing that they've made careers out of their time on stage. Yes, like we're both in agreement that, it can be helpful. It can be positive, it can be negative, but is there ambiguity around what it takes to actually make a career out of being a full-time competitor?
Yeah, good question. People are going to like this one because this is something I love chatting about. Your physique, to be honest, your physique has little to do in terms of you being able to make a career out of it, because the career out of it is not necessarily going to be stage appearances. The career out of it is going to be the opportunities that can pay you money outside, like maybe being a model for Edela swimwear, maybe being an actual showcased sponsored athlete for a supplement company. And you're not a sponsored athlete unless they pay you a set amount every single month. And I will die on that hill. And we need to cause that distinction. If you're not getting paid every month by your supplement sponsor, you're not a sponsored athlete. You are just an affiliate, and that is okay. It's a
We
great place to start. I mean, shit, you and I both had sponsorships and we both had affiliates. And honestly, sometimes in my case, the affiliate was a better deal than the sponsorship. But your marketability is what is going to establish you making a career out of this. And as I've grown maybe a little wiser, hopefully, um, what I consider to be a viable career option is something that gives you time, flexibility, and freedom. Um, you know, money's great, fine and well, but if you have terrible spending habits, then 10 million isn't getting you much further than 1 million is, right? Like how much time, flexibility, and time freedom can you have? And obviously there's a fiscal component to that, but there's also a work duty component to that, i.e. what we were talking about earlier on. In my pursuit of growing this company, I've had to be available for clients. Now, the company has a lot of passive income. I personally have a lot of passive income. Somehow I'm somewhat marketable to a certain level of or demographic of people that I've been fortunate enough to find. The coaches in the company have substantial income. So now I get to travel and have fun and not have to worry about always being available for the next person. So what I'm showcasing is, well, if you make a lot of money but you have no time because you can't leave, do you really have a career out of the fitness industry? Or are you in prison, even though it's a really well-paying prison because you can't actually leave and go anywhere? So can you build a career out of this? Yes. Your looks have little to do with it, although pretty person privilege is one of the most real things in the entire universe for men and women, and pretty people go further than not pretty people. I'm just saying. I mean, I have lived as an ugly dude and a okay, mildly attractive dude. And I would say the lives are way different. Number two. So looks have a little to do. Physique has a little to do with it. What can kill and will kill your marketability as a female is if you use PEDs to a point where you can no longer speak like a female. So your facial features, your body aren't what separate you, but your voice absolutely can. Why is Corey so goddamn marketable? Because she has the body. She has the voice of someone who's completely natty and never touched anything before. You have to have that. For a female and a male, your hair health, your skin health, nail health, these things are very important. These are very marketable. The way you're able to communicate, the way you're able to talk to people, how emotionally resilient you are, the value you can bring to other people, the way you make people feel when they interact with you. These are marketable. So in this pursuit of this physique and building this, I want to build this job out of competing. You better be reading some books. You better be having conversations with people who are smarter than you. You better be wildly introspective on where, as a person, and your personality and your character and your characteristics are flawed and need work. Chris Bumstead would not be Chris Bumstead if he wasn't as personable as he is, as vulnerable as he is. He's the most marketable physique athlete of all time. And it's not just because of his physique, but also he's cemented himself. And Corey knows this. Anyone else who's seasoned who listens to this episode will know this. People who aren't a seasoned might not like this, but this is the truth. To become an Olympia champion, you must be marketable. To become someone who has any face in the bodybuilding industry, you must be marketable. Because then, to defeat the champion, you've got to also have greater marketability than that person. The women's physique division tried doing it recently and it didn't work out very well. And we saw that they corrected the place that probably should never have changed. It's about far more than the stage. The stage has little to do with your ability to make a career out of this. I will likely never compete again. Corey might compete again, might not compete again. Time's going to tell. We're going to see. But the people that you're looking up to probably aren't doing as well in the fitness industry in terms of making money or making time as Corey and I are. That doesn't mean we're super special savants or anything like that. It just means marketability far trumps the physique that you're going to build. And that is all on you. I was an introverted person. Corey, you kind of strike me as someone who used to be introverted. I was terrified to speak publicly. 420 podcast episodes later, 200 plus guest appearances, multiple keynote speaking engagements later, 20,000 social media posts later, I'm not terrified of it anymore.